Have you ever seen your reflection in the mirror and thought, where has the time gone? The face that looks back at you is not quite the same as the version you remember. The lines that were never there, the soft skin, perhaps the eyes that seem to hold more stories than ever before. The body you once trusted now feels foreign. The world moves faster, friends drifting, and with each passing year, the sense of certainty we once carried seems to grow farther and farther away. Aging can feel like an uphill battle, but maybe aging itself doesn't make it so difficult. Perhaps the real struggle lies in our resistance to change. The Buddha taught that suffering arises when we resist the natural flow of life. In Buddhism, concept anicca, impermanence, is not something to fear, but rather the key to freedom. We spend most of our lives trying to preserve what must ultimately change: our youth, our role, our relevance. But what if aging wasn't something to fear? What if it was something to embrace? Today I want to share a perspective that can change the way you view the rest of your life. 5 powerful Buddhist lessons about aging. These truths are not bitter, they are liberating. They bring beauty, grace, and a deeper kind of meaning. And once you truly internalize them, old age no longer feels like loss, but like becoming. 1. You will be forgotten sooner than you think. And that's okay. It's one of the hardest truths to accept. We will be forgotten faster than we think. The careers we built, the homes we loved, the stories we shared, over time they fade. At first this may feel heartbreaking. We spend so much of our lives trying to leave a mark, to be remembered, to be important. But time still passes with or without us. Kids get busy, friends move on, and the world keeps turning. That doesn't mean tragic, it means liberating. Buddhism teaches about concepts anatta, selfless. The belief that we are fixed, permanent beings is an illusion. We are not meant to exist forever as individuals. Like waves rising and falling in the ocean, we come and go, leaving behind ripples, not names but impacts. A Zen story captures this beautifully. A wise old monk lived in a quiet temple in the mountains, loved by many for his kindness. One day, a young disciple asked, "Teacher, are you sad when people forget your name when you pass by?" The monk smiled and pointed to the river flowing through the temple. "Where was the water here yesterday?" he asked. The disciple hesitated. "It continues to flow," he replied. "However, the river remains," said the monk. "Lesson, it is not your name that will last, but your present actions. The compassion you have shown, the kindness you have shown, the wisdom you have passed on, that is your true legacy." As a Zen proverb says, one candle can light thousands of other candles without losing its flame. So ask yourself, do you remember each teacher who inspired you? Probably not, but their impact has shaped you. The warmth of a parent, the guidance of a mentor, the kindness of a stranger, those things are still there, even when the names are gone. Give up the need to be remembered. Instead, focus on being present, being kind, and letting your actions create ripples that last long after you've moved on. Aging is not about clinging to a name from history. It's about living each moment intentionally so that when the time comes, you can pass away peacefully knowing that the river of your life has nourished others. 2. Your body will betray you, so befriend it instead. There's no denying it. One day, you realize the stairs are a little steeper than before. Your knees creak, your energy drops. The body you once relied on begins to protest, and it can feel like a betrayal. But the Buddha would remind us, this is simply how nature works. Just as autumn trees lose their leaves, the body must change. The problem is not aging, but our attachment to youth. We mourn what we once had instead of appreciating what remains. In that resistance, we suffer. What if instead of fighting your body, you befriended it? Your body has carried you through every moment of your life, every adventure, every pain, every late night, every laugh. It heals when you get sick. Cope with stress. Adapt to pressure. It is your oldest companion, and it deserves your gratitude. There is a parable about an old monk who could no longer carry water like before. Frustrated, he asked the teacher why his body was failing him. The teacher gave him a cracked clay pot. The master said, "This vase used to hold water easily. Now it leaks, but it still has a purpose. The water it pours nourishes the earth. Your body may not be the same anymore, but it is not in vain. It's not broken. It is simply evolving. Your arms may not lift like before, but you can still hug. Your hands may shake, but they can still comfort. You may not run, but you can still walk, with wisdom, with love. Instead of judging your aging body, respect it. Take a break when it asks. Move it gently. Feed it well. Treat it with the same compassion you would a dear friend. After all, it has accompanied you through it all. And remember, a weak body does not mean a weak spirit. As long as you have breath, you have a purpose. Aging with grace, a Buddhist perspective on loving your body and letting go. There comes a time in life when climbing stairs no longer feels easy. Your knees whisper in protest with every step. The body you once trusted, running, stretching, jumping and working without thinking, begins to move more slowly, more carefully. Every pain reminds you, things are not quite the same, and it can feel like betrayal. But in the Buddha's eyes, this change was not a failure. It's simply the nature of the job. Just as trees lose their leaves in the fall, our bodies also undergo inevitable changes. The pain we feel is not in aging itself, but in our attachment to our former selves. We grieve for our past energy, our old strength, the reflection of our youth. We resist changes, and when we do, we suffer. But what if aging is not a decline, but a transformation? What if peace comes, not from clinging to the past, but from learning to adapt to grace? Your body is not your enemy. In fact, it is your most loyal companion. It has carried you through everything. Every childhood adventure, every responsibility, every pain and triumph. It fights disease, adapts to stress, and supports you in every stage of your life. Instead of getting frustrated because it's slowing down, why not show gratitude? Growing older doesn't mean becoming the person you once were. It means taking care of who you are now. Move your body gently. Feed it with nutrients. Let it rest when it calls for rest. Treat it not like a broken machine, but like an old friend who has traveled miles by your side, seasoned and wise. There is a Buddhist parable that speaks directly to this truth. An old monk, once strong and capable, found himself struggling to carry water from the river. His arms, once strong, now trembled with the effort. One evening, very disappointed, he went to see his teacher. "Master," he said, "why does my body fail me? It used to obey my every command." The teacher quietly gave him a cracked clay vase. "This jar used to hold water perfectly," he said. "Now it's leaking. Does that mean it has no purpose?" The monk shook his head. "No, master, it still contains some water." "Exactly," the teacher said. "And the water that escapes nourishes the earth. The pot is no longer what it used to be, but it's still useful." The monk understood. His body, like the pot, had changed, but it still has a purpose, and so are you. You may not run fast anymore, but you can still walk meaningfully. You may not be able to lift much, but you can carry love, wisdom and experience. Your hands may shake, but they can still provide kindness, comfort, and connection. Instead of viewing your aging body as something that is working against you, Start honoring it as something that has faithfully carried you through the decades. It deserves your patience, your attention, and most of all, your compassion. Let's hear it. Take a break when it asks. Find gentle ways to move it. If it aches, soothe it, not with frustration but with kindness. Your body is not weakening, it is simply growing. And don't let your physical limitations determine the fullness of your life. A weak body does not mean a weak spirit. As long as you have breath, you have a purpose. Think about older people who inspire you, not because they still look young, but because they radiate something deeper. Wise, peace, presence. They accepted what was, and in that acceptance they found freedom from suffering. You can go that route too. Be friends with your body. Thank you for it, and move forward in life with kindness for yourself and for others. And then, there is another truth that old age reveals. You can't keep everyone in your life, and that's okay. Years pass, people change. Friends who once felt inseparable gradually become distant. The family that used to call every week can now have a voice every now and then, and sometimes people disappear for no reason, leaving silence where laughter once echoed. It's easy to take this personally. Did I do something wrong? Am I not enough? But Buddhism reminds us that everything, including relationships, is impermanent. People come into our lives when we need them, and leave when their chapter in our story is complete. It's not a rejection, it's nature's way. There is a touching Buddhist parable about this lesson. A young monk asked his master, "Why do people leave us when we love them?" The teacher led him to a river and pointed to the flowing water. "See how the river moves," he said. "One drop at a time passes us, never staying. Some drops stay together for a while, others go very quickly." The monk watched silently. "People are like that," the boss continued. "Some people walk by our side for a short time, some walk by our side for many years, but it all must move on. What hurts us isn't their passing, it's our refusal to accept that nothing lasts forever." Think about it. Have you ever reconnected with an old friend and felt like no time had passed? That's because the connection still exists, unaffected by distance. The love you shared remains, even when that person is no longer present. Instead of mourning lost connections, celebrate the connections that still exist. Invest in the people who stay with you, and don't close your heart to new things. Life offers connection, at all ages, if we stay open. Letting go is not a loss, but a blessing. Celebrate what is already there, appreciate what is, and always be curious about what's going to happen. Letting go with grace. Buddhist perspectives on love, beauty, and aging. There comes a time in life when the people we once loved begin to drift away. It can feel confusing, even painful. The friends we laughed with, the family we used to talk to every day, some gradually fade away, others disappear without explanation. We find ourselves asking, why do people leave us? Especially when we love them. A young monk once asked his master the same question. The teacher led him to the riverbank, where the water flowed gently under the sunlight. "See how the river moves," he said. "Every drop of water passes by us, never stopping in one place. Some drops travel together for a while, dancing side by side. Some drops quickly separate, being swept away." The monk nodded silently. "People are like that," the boss continued. "Some walk beside us for a short time, others for many years. But all must keep moving. Their passing is not what brings suffering, it is our refusal to accept that their presence was never meant to be permanent." As the monk sat by the water and watched the flow, he began to understand. Love does not mean possession. We often cling to what is no longer there, grieving for what has been lost. But what if we cherished what was left? Think about it. Have you ever met an old friend after many years apart and felt as if no time had passed? That's because the connection never really went away. It continues to exist, unaffected by time or distance. The people who have left your life have not brought with them the love or joy that they once carried. Their presence has shaped who you are today. Laughter, lessons, love, they are still there intertwined with your very being. Aging teaches us this quietly, but powerfully. Relationships develop. Some fade, like the colors of a sunset. Others end suddenly like a storm. But they all make sense in their own time. And even when someone is no longer in your life, the love you shared never disappeared. It lives on, living inside you, part of your story. So instead of mourning every lost relationship, celebrate the ones that still exist. Call the friend who still visits. Smile at the neighbor who always waves. Tell stories to your grandchildren. And most importantly, don't close your heart to new relationships. No matter your age, life offers moments of connection. If you're ready for them, go with grace. Celebrate what is already there. Appreciate what is, and gently accept what is to come. That is the silent wisdom that old age gives us. And as you get older, another truth becomes inevitable. You are no longer the same person you once were. One day, you see your reflection in the mirror, and stop. Skin is softer, hair is grayer, hands are more delicate. Society urges you to cover up, erase wrinkles, dye your hair, pursue youth. But what if we looked at things differently? Buddhist philosophy teaches that true beauty is not found in flawless skin, but in presence, kindness, and wisdom. Your wrinkles are not flaws, they are the story of a well-lived life. Your gray hair isn't something to hide, it's the crown of experience. There is a Zen story that captures this truth beautifully. An elderly woman, once famous for her beauty, came to see a wise master with sad eyes. I looked in the mirror, she said, and I didn't recognize myself anymore. My beauty had faded. My hair was gray. My skin was wrinkled. I felt invisible. The boss smiled gently and led her out to the garden. He pointed to a cherry blossom tree in full bloom. This is beauty, isn't it? She nodded. Then he led her to an ancient pine tree. The bark is weathered and the branches bend with age. What about this? He asked. She stopped. It's different, but there's something dignified about it. Something powerful. The boss chuckled. It's because you have wisdom. A child may only see the beauty of cherry blossoms, but over time we learn to appreciate pine trees. At that moment she understood. Her beauty had not faded. It has simply transformed. Think about the elders you admire most. Are they beautiful because they still look young, or because they carry within them warmth, dignity, and wisdom? Their beauty radiates from something much deeper. The sparkle in their eyes, the patient way they listen, the compassion in their voice. Give up the illusion that beauty fades. In fact, beauty transforms, and in your later years, it shows through your presence, your resilience, and the kindness you show the world. Aging is not a battle but a journey that needs to be embraced. Each wrinkle is a memory engraved by time. Each gray hair is a symbol of lessons learned. Every line around your eyes contains the laughter of the decade. So the next time you see your reflection and feel a twinge of sadness, pause, look again. See your strength, your stories, the life you've lived. Let pride replace regret. Let grace replace resistance. You don't disappear, you are becoming. And in that becoming there is beauty, deeper than youth, more lasting than any mirror can reflect. The gift of old age, Buddhist wisdom on beauty, loss, and letting go. What if we stopped seeing our wrinkles as flaws and started seeing them as stories carved by time? What if each gray hair is no longer something that needs to be hidden but is a silent badge of experience, a lesson to live and learn? Imagine if we celebrated the wisdom we have achieved instead of mourning the youth we left behind. Because the truth is, with age comes a radiance, something no cream or dye can replicate. It's the confidence that comes from knowing who you are. Strength is only gained when overcoming the storms of life. Gentleness is born from truly understanding another person. That, friends, is true beauty. So the next time you look at your reflection and feel like lamenting what you've lost, pause, look deeper. What you will see is a fulfilling life. The love you gave, the wisdom you now carry. Go through your years not with shame but with pride. Like a gracefully woven garment, each thread tells your story. Because real beauty isn't behind you, it's inside of you, right now, in this very moment. But as we step further along this life path, one truth is inevitable. We will lose more of the people we love. Parents, brothers and sisters, friend, perhaps even a child. One by one they leave this world, and no matter how carefully we prepare, nothing can ease that pain. Grief does not follow a schedule. It doesn't disappear over time. It becomes a companion, a shadow we learn to live with. But Buddhism offers a profound truth in the face of loss. Love never dies. Those we have lost, they still live in us. In the lessons they taught, in the stories they tell, in the love they shared. Every time you call their name, remember their wisdom or show their kindness, they are with you. There is a Buddhist parable about a woman named Kisa Gotami. Her young son suddenly died, and her heart was broken with grief. Holding his body tightly, she went from house to house, asking for medicine to bring him back. Finally, someone guided her to see the Buddha. He listened mercifully and then made a request. "Bring me a mustard seed from a house that has never known death." With renewed hope she searched every household, but at every door she heard stories of loss. A mother, a father, a dear friend, and gradually she understood. Death has touched every home. She is not alone. She returned to Buddha, not with a seed but with a new understanding. She realized that grief is not a personal curse. It is a thread woven into the fabric of life. No one is spared, but no one is alone. Think about the people you've lost. Perhaps it was your father, whose laughter still echoes in your memory. A friend, whose advice continues to guide you. A partner, whose love still shapes the way you love today. Yes, they may disappear, but they are not absent. One of the most common misconceptions about grief is that we must move on. But Buddhism teaches us something else. We don't move forward, we move forward. And we carry those we have lost in our hearts, in our stories, and in the way we love others. Have you ever smelled something that instantly reminded someone of it? Or listened to a song that suddenly brings tears to your eyes? It is their presence that lingers within you. Love is not limited by the material world. It transcends time, space, even death, painful grief, but it also reflects the love we felt. The deeper the love, the deeper the pain. And yet, instead of trying to ease the pain, what if we let it remind us of how deeply blessed we are? Instead of focusing on what we have lost, we can appreciate what we have been given. Aging means facing more goodbyes, but it also means having the privilege of loving deeply, forming bonds that truly matter, and pushing those spirits forward. So when the weight of grief weighs heavily on your chest, remember this: love never dies. It flows through your memories, through your actions, through the kindness you show others. As long as you continue to love, the people you lost are still a part of you, and that way, they never really go away. Final reflection: aging is a gift. Growing old is not a punishment, but a privilege. Every year, every gray hair, every wrinkle is a trace of the life you have gone through. The stories you told, the tears you cried, the love you gave. Society often tells us to fear getting old. To fight it, it must be resisted at all costs, as if growing old were a failure rather than an honor. But Buddhist wisdom gently nudges us to look at things differently. Aging is not the enemy, fear is, and it is fear that causes suffering, not the passage of time. When we cling to youth, we miss out on the gifts that age brings: deeper understanding, patience, gratitude, a deep appreciation for the present moment. The more we fight the inevitable, the more regretful we feel. But the moment we surrender to the natural flow of life, peace begins to bloom. Aging is not something that is taken away from us. It's something that's a given. So my dear, what will you do with this knowledge? Will you take time out of your day to fight, or will you accept it with an open heart? Will you mourn the past, or celebrate what is still here? The choice is yours. But if you choose acceptance, if you choose gratitude, then you will discover what so many people miss. Aging is not the end, it's a new beginning. As we go through life, old age reminds us of a powerful truth: everything changes. But instead of resisting these changes, we can learn to accept them graciously. The wrinkles we carry are not signs of loss, they are maps of laughter, growth, and resilience. Buddhist wisdom teaches that beauty lies in presence, not perfection. Aging invites us to let go of our attachment to what was, and to celebrate what is. It asks us to care for our bodies with compassion, value meaningful relationships, and accept loss with the understanding that love never truly dies. Every goodbye shapes us, and every connection leaves a legacy. The more we accept impermanence, the more peace we find in each moment. This isn't just philosophy, it's a way of living more fully, with purpose and joy. If this message resonates with you, give it a like to support more meaningful content. Share your thoughts in the comments. What lesson about aging has touched your life the most? And if you believe others can benefit from this wisdom, please share the video with them. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more inspirational stories that nourish the mind, heart and soul. Grow old with gratitude, not fear. Have you ever felt like no matter how hard you work, money still slips through your fingers? What if the reason isn't your income or even your spending, but something much simpler, something hidden in plain sight, like the clutter in your bag? In this video, we'll explore the surprising connection between the everyday items you carry and the abundant flow in your life. From old bills to broken pens, the things you keep may be silently hindering your financial energy. But don't worry, this isn't just a cleaning issue. We're diving into ancient Zen Buddhist wisdom and practical steps that can change your thoughts, habits, and yes, even your bank account. If you're ready to release hidden barriers, move from stress to clarity, and invite more prosperity into your daily life, you won't want to miss what's to come. Start this journey to prosperity. Start with what's in your pocket, why your mindset can hinder your wealth, and how to change it. Have you ever found yourself lying awake at night, thinking about bills, worrying if your paycheck will last long enough, and wondering, why does money always feel tight, even when I'm doing everything right? If so, you're not alone. 3 years ago, I was like you. Most of us have never been taught about levels things shape reality. We think that if we work harder, save better, hustle more, things will eventually change. But here's the truth. No amount of effort can create lasting wealth if your mind remains stuck in scarcity. Let that sink in for a moment. What is a scarcity mindset and how does it manifest itself in your life? A scarcity mindset is a constant focus on what is missing. You may not say it out loud, but your internal dialogue will sound like, I never have enough money, I can't afford that. If I spend money now, I may regret it later. What if something bad happens and I need money? These thoughts may seem reasonable or even responsible, but they carry an emotional weight. A kind of silent tension that lingers in your daily decisions. You may feel stressed when opening your banking app. You may hesitate before spending even on necessity. You may feel guilty for treating yourself, even if you deserve it. And ironically, the more we focus on the lack, the more the lack seems to appear. It's a tiring cycle of scarcity, the science and spiritual wisdom behind it. Thousands of years ago, Buddha taught that our thoughts shape our reality. Modern psychology says the same thing. Our belief systems create cognitive filters. What we trust, we search. What we focus on, we consolidate. If you continually look at the world through the lens of not enough, you will continue to find evidence that proves it to be true. Missed opportunities, tight budgets, financial stress. But what if you start changing that lens? What if instead of focusing on what you do not possess, you start training your brain to recognize what you do have? Why gratitude is more than just a buzzword. It's a powerful tool, be honest. The idea of just being grateful can seem cliché, especially when you're staring at a stack of bills. But gratitude doesn't mean ignoring your challenges. That's about it. Regain your focus. When you regularly practice gratitude, you train your mind to see value, to see richness, even in the little things. And that change is strong. Try this. Before going to bed tonight, write it down 3 things you are very grateful. They don't have to be big. A warm cup of coffee, a quiet morning, a friend has signed up. Do it for a week. You may be shocked to see how your mood and even your thoughts about money begin to change. Gratitude is not nonsense. That's the frequency. When your inner world begins to vibrate at an abundant level, your outer world will respond. Mindfulness. The missing piece of the puzzle that most people ignore. Gratitude helps you shift your focus, but mindfulness helps you catch the thoughts that are pulling you back into deprivation before they spiral. Mindfulness is being aware of your thoughts and behaviors in real time without judgment. You start notice when you're having a money disaster or making decisions based on fear. Let's say you're at the store and feel a little nervous before swiping your card. A mindful pause in the moment allows you to ask, is this fear coming from a real financial problem or from the old belief that there is never enough? That pause is where the power lives, because when you can recognize the beliefs behind that behavior, you can interrupt it and select different. The transition from scarcity to abundance is not magic, but practice. The great thing is that you don't have to change your entire life overnight. This is about small shifts in perspective, repeated consistently. For example, instead of saying, I can't afford that, try, that's not my top priority right now, but I'm working toward it. Replace I will never get ahead with every day I become more conscious and intentional with my money. When you have a thought like I'm not good at finances, follow it up with I'm learning and growing, and I'm allowed to improve. These subtle rewrites are important. They rewire your subconscious to expect growth instead of struggle, possibilities instead of fear. And as the Buddha taught, what you think, you become. What you feel, you attract. What you imagine, you create. We'll show you how seemingly insignificant things, like a receipt in your wallet or a broken pen in your bag, can silently reinforce your scarcity beliefs. And more importantly, we'll show you how to release that energy, reset your space, and start inviting them into your life, not just financially but also emotionally and energetically. Because wealth is not about having more things, it's about creating more space for peace, for opportunity, for joy. If you've ever felt stuck, like you're doing all the right things but not seeing results, this video is for you. Not because we have a magic formula, but because we believe that real change happens when you adapt what's outside with what's going on inside. So please stay, your journey towards clarity and abundance has just begun. Is the clutter in your pockets secretly blocking your financial flow? Have you ever noticed how heavy your bag is? Not just physically, but also energetically. Maybe it's filled with old receipts, broken pens, loose change jingling around, snack wrappers or expired coupons. It seems harmless enough, right? Just the usual life stuff that we all throw in and forget about. But what if I told you that the pile of stuff you're carrying isn't just clutter, it's also a mirror? Yes, the mirror reflects what is happening within your mind, and maybe even yours money life. Your bag can say more about you than you think. We often don't stop to reflect on the items we carry with us every day. But those little things, Crumpled receipts, empty packs of gum, tangled headphones aren't just coincidental. They are symbols, broken item that you haven't thrown away yet. It may represent something unresolved in your life. That pile of old bills, a sign that you're mentally holding on to past spending habits, regrets, or fear of losing control. And here's the big idea. The clutter in your physical space often reflects the clutter in your mind. And mental clutter doesn't just make you feel overwhelmed. It also hinders clarity, creativity, confidence, and yes, abundance. Everything you carry has energy, whether you know it or not. Let's go one step deeper. In Zen philosophy, there is the notion that everything carries energy signs, meaning that objects absorb and reflect the energy we associate with them. Think about it. A beautiful watch passed down from a loved one holds warmth and emotional connection. But a crumpled old receipt from a regrettable purchase, it can cause a mild wave of discomfort every time you see or touch it, without you even realizing it. These subtle energy imprints accumulate. They can lift you up or drain you. And most of us are walking around with pockets full of forgotten low vibration energy. It's like trying to walk through life with invisible burdens on your shoulders. Now imagine the change when you intentionally remove those burdens. Letting go creates space for abundance. Here is the powerful truth. Energy flows where space allows.